Welcome to Melanin and Manga. I am Sheena, Sheethegeek, and this is my September reading vlog. So the first book I wanted to talk about was Batman, the Court of Owl Saga, number 1. This is done by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. This was phenomenal. So I was encouraged to get back into reading some more DC, and I decided to read this one. And it was funny because Enja and I were reading it at the same time and didn't even realize that we were reading it at the same time. And we talked about it in our Batman anniversary segment that we just did. But man, this book is phenomenal. So you get to meet Batman, Bruce Wayne in his prime. The whole story. His parents are gone. He's taken over. He actually has, the Robins with him, and he's established. He's in his prime. He thinks he runs the city and everything. And there's actually this murder that happens, and it's very mysterious, and he's trying to break it down and try to solve it. And as he's doing that, he's realizing that he's tied in to this murder a lot more than he realized, and he's starting to realize that this group, or this cult like thing, kind of like it's giving the Illuminati, and they are not the only ones he's not the only one that's tied into Gotham, and so is this group of people. And this group is like hell-bent on taking down other powerful people, and especially the Waynes. And it goes back so far, the beginning of Gotham. So you get to see some really great art in here. There's times that you have to turn the book and put the book upside down, but it's not jarring at all. It doesn't take you out of the story. I think that this team did an excellent job. It shows that they really gave a fuck about what they were writing and what they were trying to express in the art, and it was just amazing. The art, the panels, the panel layouts are great. It's easy to follow. The colors, everything. I liked it that even though I love DC and I love Batman, I really haven't read a whole lot, but you could pick this up and know exactly what's going on. And there's a lot of little key details in there to fill you in, and I love that. But it didn't drop a whole bunch of fucking information on you where you're huh, and it took you out of the story. So I actually picked up the second one, so I will definitely be continuing on with the series. Yeah, so 4.5 out of 5. Definitely anybody could pick this up, and I know that it's free on Hoopla, like the whole series is. So yeah, take advantage of it. Next one that I read was the single issue from Saga, number 69. I love this cover. Absolutely love this cover. Don't know if I'm allowed to show this cover, but I am. Okay, so because it's beautiful art. Fiona Staples outdid herself when she did this cover. It's amazing. So yeah, it was a solid issue. You get to see Alana trying to navigate motherhood, and I just felt her pain. You try to do good for your kids, and your decisions can ultimately alter their life, and you just want the best for your kid. Then you have new characters, you have the old ones that are dealing with some real issues. There's this one panel that popped up with Gwen, and I was like, oh my god, girl. Oh my goodness. And I don't blame you. So if anybody is up to date on this issue and they know exactly what I'm talking about, let me know. So, but yeah, it stays solid. It's climbing to something, and I'm not too sure where it's going. You can never know with Saga, but what you will know is that it continues to break my heart, and it continues to pull me apart and not put me back the right way, and I'm absolutely loving it. So yeah, definitely 4 out of 5. The final one that I physically read was Blood on the Tracks, number 17. And this is the ending to this big series that took years to write. And I felt like the ending was fitting. A lot of people gripe because a lot of the pages were just art. But this mangaka does a great job at like expressing themselves just through their art. We finally get to see his relationship with his mother get some kind of closure. You get to see in the little girl's eyes that he had known for when in his childhood. You kind of get to see things in her eyes, and the last page had me thinking that this was more than just a story. It could have been like, I'm scared to say, like maybe an autobiography type shit, and that is terrifying in itself. So I'm jealous of the people that can read this all together, because I think that too, like if people were able to read the whole thing together, they would appreciate just the art. But yes, if you can, please read this. I know that 17 books is a lot of dedication and a lot of money, so I know that they are available on my Libby in my district, so check out your district, because this story is definitely worth picking up and reading. It will blow your mind, and it will have you sick to your stomach at times, but I'm glad that I was able to read it as long as I did and enjoy it. So shout outs to my Mars, because without her I would have never even known anything about the series. So yes, Blood on the Tracks, 4 out of 5. All right, let's get into the books that I listened to. All right, first one is Forgotten Romance, and this is like book 6 of the Divorced Husband series. You don't have to read the series in order to enjoy these books, because I didn't, and I knew what was going on. You get to meet other characters, but they're just side characters, and it's just easy to listen to. So you get to meet this couple, and they are madly in love and everything, but the one guy is like a workaholic, and he's always gone from his family, and the other one is at home taking care of the kids, and just feels like lonely, just feels like they're just a single parent, and they end up getting into a really bad fight, and they end up coming to the conclusion of getting divorced. But they end up still living together, and because they still love each other, they still love and respect each other, they just don't know how to overcome him being a workaholic and him being gone all the time and everything. So basically the story is about them just trying to get back to square one with each other, and because the love is there, it's just trying to figure out what's important in life and how to balance that. So it was a solid listen. Like I don't think I recognized the two people that were reading it, but yeah, they were pretty good narrators, and yeah, it was a solid one. I could relate to some parts of the book, because being a parent is hard at times, and you try to create moments and memories for your kids, and you have this idea in your head, and it doesn't fucking play out like that. and that happened to them, and I felt myself like laughing and be like, bruh, I get you, I feel you, okay? So yeah, it was a solid 3 out of 5, and I know that I borrowed this book from the library, so yeah, it was worth the time. So yeah, had a good time. Next up is the book called Until We Meet Again, and this is just another little rom-com about these two boys. They live in the dorm together, and the one is going through losing his brother, and so he hides his grief by drinking and being loud and being doing silly shit, and nobody takes him seriously, but his roommate sees right through it, and they end up, friendship, and then develop into something else. I think this is the second book to another series that I read. So they all go to the same school, and it's like, just the group of people that they're talking about. So it was nothing crazy or nothing like really moving. It was really cute. Short book. I think it was like not even like 4 hours long. So yeah, it was a solid 3. Yep. Alright, so this next one is called Exes and Foes. Now, this is a book that I just based off its cover, and boy was I wrong. So, you see this cover right here? Gorgeous. I'm thinking, okay, this is like a polyamorous relationship. I'm here for it. Look at that cute little black girl in the middle. I'm here for it, okay? So, wrong. It was nothing like that. I was too... and I should have just read it, and I knew once it was only two points of views, the other girl and the guy's point of view. I was like, oh yeah, she's just like a side character. So you meet the two on the end. They were best friends, and then they had a falling out. So the girl is always like trying to steal the attention of her ex-best friends, like people that he's interested in, and he's hella interested in this chick, and the chick in the middle. And so they end up like both going after her and kind of like going at competition, but all the while they're finding themselves hanging out with each other more and like talking about the shit that happened for them not to be friends anymore. And then, friends are actually that are in love with each other. So, I mean, my expectations for this book was something entirely different, and if I had known that going into it, then I kind of appreciate this book. But I was like, when are they all going to be together? Okay, now it's happening. Like, there's a couple of times that like I'm like, okay, like, all right, no, okay, fuck, so if I didn't think it was that, then I could have probably appreciated this book a lot more. I did appreciate that, there was queer characters, there was BIPOC characters, it was easy to listen to, nothing crazy, I liked it that how she looked out for him and how he thought the world of her, but they would fight in between. So yeah, I mean, it was solid. Whatever. It'd have been better if they were all together. Whatever. 3 out of 5. Next one is called Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Now, I've only listened to one of her other books, and that was The Bride. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I love this book. So let me try other books by her. And I picked this one. And I did not like this book at all. I didn't even finish it. So it was just, I think it was like poorly executed. I love books where the guy falls first and falls hard first. But this one just can't. And I'm into the, the stalker books, the, close proximity, standing in her space, like all that. But this one is just, I don't know. I just could not get into it. The characters were hella boring. They were just very, I don't know. I wasn't too happy about this one. So, I don't know. It just was very convoluted at the beginning. So I think I got like 45% into it, and I was just like, I'm good. I'm good. So, maybe it wasn't just like the right time and place to really appreciate this book, but I just have too many books. I have too many other options to just be dealing with like mediocre shit. So yeah, if I had to rate it, it would have to be like maybe like a 2. So yeah. And then I went on Goodreads, and a lot of other people felt the same way. So I don't know. I always do that too. I'm like, well, let me go on Goodreads and see. No, that's not how you're supposed to feel. Whatever. But yeah, no, a lot of other people thought so too. So I'm going to try not to hold it against her and try some of her other books. I know she has like another little story that has like nerds in it. So maybe that'll be my next one. But yeah. Let's talk about a book that I did like. So I listened to I'm Your Guy by Serena Bowman. She's one of my favorite people when it comes to MM romance. So like, they're like the queen of it. So it's a hockey romance. So you meet this hockey player. He just got signed to a new team, and he got a new place, and his mom is coming to his place for Christmas, but he does not have time to deal with like decorating. He hates that, so he actually hires this dude that he finds in a store, and they end up spending a lot of time together. And basically this man is building his home, and the wall around his heart is coming down, and so it's the fucking cutest. And my boy Teddy Hamilton was narrating one of the parts. Yeah, so I was hooked. So I definitely give this a 4 out of 5. I love hockey romances. Love me some Teddy Hamilton. Love me some Serena Bowman. So yep, definitely loved it. And speaking of Serena Bowman, I actually listened to another one by her, and it was called The Roommate. And this is like enemies to lovers type thing. These two dudes live in a small town, and when they were in high school, they ended up like having some kind of like sexual encounter with each other, and they never spoke of it. And the one moved away. He actually got out of an abusive relationship and tried to come back home, but his parents sadly didn't want him because he was gay. So he was living out of his car, and the other guy that he went to high school with, he actually ran into him, and he was like scared that things were going to be brought up in the past, so he like gave him the cold shoulder and treated him like shit. And so, but they ended up becoming roommates because they both financially couldn't afford to live on their own, and they came up on a good deal for a house. So then, being roommates, being in close proximity, you get to unload everything, and it just blossomed into something else. Once again, my boy Teddy Hamilton killed it in the narration. And yeah, it was just a really good, feel good romance, and I really appreciated it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So yeah, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Another MM that I read, it was called Head Above Water, and man, this book was deep. Okay, so some pretty heavy topics in this. So these boys were stepbrothers. These two guys were stepbrothers, and they hated each other. They were always like rivals, and just grew up just being like nasty to each other. So high school, they graduated high school, and the night of graduation, they end up having like a moment together, and the one brother ended up getting in trouble. The dad kicked him out, and then he left, and he never came back. And it left a lot of stuff that was unsaid between the two of them. So the one that moved away had to come back because, spoiler alert, their parents die in a car accident, so he has to come back and help with the arrangements. And he comes back after years of being gone, and when he comes back, he's engaged to a woman, about to be married. But when he does come back, he sees his stepbrother, and a lot of emotions, like they're dealing with the death of their parents, and their feelings for each other, and the shit that was left unspoken, and the unfinished business between both of them. So there was a lot of emotional moments, a lot of deep moments, and sometimes you felt like they were just clinging to each other for, like in a toxic way to deal with their parents' grief. You had the one that was very, very loud about his grief, and then you had the other one that was very closed off, and like how they played on each other, and how like they were trying to see each other through this, and and he was just dealing with a lot because he had a whole nother life, but he wanted the life with his with his stepbrother. So yeah, it was deep. You had yeah. You just have to hear it for yourself. And I think a lot of people didn't appreciate this book, but I feel like if you gave this book a chance, you should listen to it so you can really hear the emotions and the shit that these men feel. to kind of appreciate and try to see what this author was doing. So this author has a way, they like to deal with like really heavy topics. So I think it was executed nicely. You know, sometimes grief isn't like as pretty as you want it to be, you know, and feelings are not as pretty as you want them to fucking be. So, and I think that she did a good job at displaying that sometimes to get where you want, you know, you got to go through the ugliness and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Now, this next book is part of a bigger series that I absolutely adore. I think it's called the Jacksonville Rays series. Fucking Sweet has to deal with a girl. Her name is Poppy, and she's a little badass. She's a PR for the hockey team, and she gets involved with these 2 men on the hockey team, and she's just trying to navigate through her life and through her feelings for these 2 men, and they end up deciding to all be in a relationship. And the 2 dudes are actually like best friends at first, you know, like not best friends, but they were really close. You know, they played in another league together, you know, ended up on the same team at times. But yeah, so it was cool watching them fall in love with each other and try to navigate. You know, Poppy's family is wealthy, and they have certain, you know, expectations of their daughter, and this was just it was just fucking not doing it for them. So, but yes, I loved their love. I loved the way that the boys, like, they would talk shit to each other. That was like their love language to each other. I love the narration. I love the actors, voice actors in this series. So I think they did the other part of the series too, if I'm certain. Because yeah, but yeah, definitely if you like hockey romances and you like, you know, polyamorous relationships, then this is definitely for you. You know, the girl, like, why can't you have it all? Why choose, you know? And this is definitely a great example of that. So 4 out of 5. They have my heart. Now let's talk about the book that has me all the way fucked up, okay? So I talked about it in my last vlog, and this is the second book in that series, the Salt Kiss, and I think it's called the Lioness series. And baby, let me tell you, this book, oh my goodness, has me on the fucking edge all the time. So this one, you follow Isol and Tristan, and they just came back from coming back to the States, and they made a promise that they would not be together. You know, she's about to get married to crazy ass Mark, and but they can't stay away from each other, and it's just this pull and push between the two of them as she is trying to get the information that she needs for her uncle. Like, it's this whole big fucking power moves, and you know, fucking assassin. It's just crazy. It has like so hard to explain. I don't want to give too much away because I really want to encourage people to read this, but Isol is definitely going through it. Like, she's having to please her uncle and get information on Mark. She's trying to hold Mark at an arm's distance, but falling for this man. She is trying to stay away from Tristan, but she feels like she's found her other half in Tristan. And Mark is feeling, you know, the same way, trying to be faithful with Isol, but at the same time, he's in love with Tristan. And poor Tristan, he's just in the middle of both of these two, and it's just so fucked for both of them. But I absolutely love the way that this author writes. Like, she is so great at feelings, and really listening to it, you can feel Isol's like all her emotions, her convictions, her desires, her wants, you know, her sadness, everything, her worries, all of it. Like, she's so good at expressing feelings. Like, you know exactly how Tristan is feeling. And I'm a very I'm a very dramatic person, so at times, like, people may think that, like, the way she writes is dramatic, but it's so fitting. And I'm just like, that's exactly, I get it. So I so appreciate this person's writing, and they've done a lot on, like, the kink stuff that happens in here, and it's just written very well. This book will have you on the edge, and the way that it ended, I was like, no, are you fucking serious? I was sitting in my car like, no, what the fuck, where's the next one at? And then it doesn't come out till next year. So if you're into, like, dark romance, and you're into, like, just suspenseful shit, like, this book will have you sitting on the edge of your seat, just squirming, okay? But yeah, I definitely give this a 4 out of 5. I absolutely love this series. I am fucking trash for this series, so, and I need more. But yeah. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah. October, I mean, you know, September was really good to me. I'm about 155 books into the year, and my goal is 200 by my birthday. So yeah, so I'm just trying to stay on track, and, you know, not get sidetracked by, like, social media and everything. But October is a very exciting month. I love October. That's when it starts cooling down, even though it's still 100 fucking degrees outside. But hopefully, yeah. And there's so many good reads, so much good stuff that's happening in October. So I know there's a few reads that I'm looking forward to, like Dun Dun Dun, number 9 drops. The Monster That Wants to Eat Me, number 2 drops. The Dearest Patrolman comes out. Of course, you know, all the spooky fall stuff. And Jen and I have a couple of things that we're working on. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. I appreciate any time that you spend on our channel and on the stuff that I do, and love and appreciate you. So see you next time.